If you're like me, Minecraft played a large role in your childhood. Specifically for me, it was Minecraft PE, Minecraft Java, and the beloved Xbox 360 edition ported by the absolute legends and heroes of our childhoods, 4J Studios. I reckon that name will ring a bell for many of you. However, I never actually had a 360 growing up, but a very close friend of mine who lived in the same neighborhood did. Some of my fondest memories were spent late at night playing that wonderful game and console. You see, us 9-year-olds, we knew how to party. It was going to be gummy worms, Coca-Cola, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies, and Minecraft. And recently, I've been feeling nostalgic of those times and have wanted to revisit that classic version of the game. Unfortunately, I was quickly met with the harsh reality that the Legacy Console Edition, basically the old, standalone console ports made before the Better Together update for Bedrock that effectively merged all the platforms together under the Bedrock codebase, have long since been discontinued. The PS4 version did indeed last a little bit longer, as it took Microsoft longer to work out the logistics of requiring a Microsoft account sign-in on a Sony console. But once that was resolved, the PS4 edition, the last version of the Legacy console editions to be supported, was no more. And being frank, that sucks. The best thing I can say about Bedrock on console is that it is functional. It gets the job done, so to speak. You want to play Minecraft? You can, but that's all it is. It's functional, but nothing more. The benefit of having individual versions developed for each system specifically was that 4J Studios was able to individually optimize each port of the game for that hardware. As such, all legacy console ports, regardless of which one you play, feel very polished and smooth. The controls are great, the menus are snappy and responsive, and the game in general just has a much better feel to it when compared to the modern and current Bedrock edition. A complete analysis of why these ports are so beloved is perhaps beyond the scope of this video, but it is a topic I would be more than happy to cover in the future. Comment down below if you'd like to see that. In any case, my point is, the legacy console editions are beloved by many and sorely missed. However, a mod pack for Minecraft Java that can be simply described as a dream come true has been released. It's called ReConsole, and it's amazing. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Retro, and yeah, I hope you're all having a good day, and if not, hopefully I can make it a little bit better by, having some fun today. So, as you can see, we've got the mod pack here, aptly titled Console Edition at the top there. And yeah, overall, I would say this definitely looks pretty familiar to what most of you probably remember. Of course, there are some options missing. We don't have the mini games or anything like that yet, but hopefully in a future update, if they can add it potentially. This mod pack is still in development, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, there's certain things that aren't quite finished yet, like we can't change our skin, the how to play menu option doesn't do anything yet, but we should give it time. I'm sure they're gonna add that stuff. And as far as the interface goes, this is pretty much spot on to what I remember. Like just the, I'm not going to create a new world, but if we go to the world creation screen real quick, you notice we've got the our resource packs here, and we can add multiple, unlike the original console edition, which is pretty awesome. So you can mix and match, that kind of thing. And game options, I believe we've got more in the original console edition, given the fact that there are certain features that didn't exist yet. The once the ports were discontinued and Minecraft updates progressed, there were certain things added that obviously the console edition never got, like for instance wardens, right? That was added in, I believe it was 1.19 off the top of my head, and the console edition only got updated to 1.13 on on most platforms, and the PlayStation 4 version got 1.15 roughly. But yeah, so anyways, a lot of this stuff should seem pretty familiar to you, I imagine. You can create all these different world types. One world type that the Modpack does that is the modern beta terrain, which basically replicates the terrain from beta 1.3 or 1.7.3 and alpha and inf-dev, all that stuff. So very cool. I appreciate that inclusion because I do quite like the beta terrain. And yeah, as far as super flat customization goes, as you can see, it is based off of the console edition super flat customization along with some more options, and which is awesome because it far and away had the best super flat system out of any version, including Java edition, in terms of like what you could do. So that's awesome. But anyways, you guys get the idea. We're gonna hop into the world I've been working on here and see what's what. Yeah, so that loaded pretty quick. As you can see, the way the camera moves with the controller is very close to what I remember from the console edition. It's basically spot on, I believe. I am currently playing this with a DualShock 4 controller, so, and it picked it up right away. There were no issues at all. Unlike vanilla Java edition, as you may know, which doesn't support any controllers. This Modpack does support them out of the box, which is fantastic. But yeah, so that works just fine. And the control mapping is basically what you'd expect from the Legacy Console Edition. So you press the left analog stick to change camera angles, right stick, crouches, all that stuff. But yeah, pressing the triangle button opens up the creative interface. And this is one minor nitpick I have that I hope they can work out. When you move the cursor, as you can see, it's not very smooth. It does work, but it's just not very smooth and precise. So I typically just go with the D-pad, which I'm sure plenty of us did anyways on the original console edition. But yeah, in any case, so this is all I've got going on. I actually have this little kind of shack here on this little mountainside, what's otherwise really awesome terrain. I'm really not taking advantage of it to its fullest potential, so we're gonna hopefully rectify that today a little bit. But yeah, there's like a certain polish and feel that the Legacy Console Edition has that is kind of hard to replicate, and is something the Bedrock Edition is sorely lacking. Just, I don't know, it's hard to explain, to be honest, but yeah, it's just, the controls just feel smoother, the mapping of the buttons is more logical. Of course, you can remap that stuff to whatever you want, but it just out of the box, it just feels weird. The way the combat works, if you actually hold the trigger down, you automatically swing your sword, which is something missing from the current Bedrock Edition. And so combat just tends to feel kind of clunky because you're just like mashing that trigger, and it kind of feels weird if you're using analog triggers, which is the case for most modern controllers. The only one that doesn't is the Switch Pro controller. And yeah, it feels kind of weird. So, you know, it's something I missed, and the main reason why I didn't play the Legacy Console Edition was because it didn't get updates, you know? It's been out of date for years, and so, which isn't a huge deal breaker, as someone who, oops, okay, we've got powdered stone here, let me clear that out. As someone who mostly plays beta to begin with, Minecraft beta from like 2011, it's not a huge deal for me, but for a lot of people, it's understandably a big drawback, and that's, I get it, you know. We want the latest features, we want the latest biomes and stuff. I get it, you know. It's understandable. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna build my little cabin down here somewhere, because this has a good amount of space to work with. So, real quick, I'm gonna fill in these gaps with dirt, because I imagine that's gonna be an issue. And that's another thing, by the way. When you break the dirt, the snow actually falls down with a little animation, which is something, to my knowledge, is still absent from the modern Java edition. So it's very cool that they're able to add that. To Bedrock's credit, that is actually something that it has, so that's nice to see. I'm thinking something more rectangular, perhaps. So I'll be completely honest. I've never been the best builder, but I'll try my best for you guys. You know, we'll see what I can do. That's the other thing. When you're placing blocks in a line, it knows you're trying to place blocks like this, and so it actually like speeds it up a bit and kind of like tries to predict where you're gonna place the next block. It's like a little tweak that just feels like, you know, like they really put thought into the process for the player and like the actions they were gonna do. Of course, it doesn't work too well here because it's mostly designed for creative mode. And I'd imagine the Modpack doesn't quite have the feature like spot on as how it actually works, but I mean, it's still pretty cool. Like, I have a lot of, you know, respect for their attempt. Right, and that's the other thing I would like to touch on is the fantastic crafting interface. On the Bedrock Edition currently, as many of you probably know, it's just like basically a copy of the one from the Java edition, which is fine. Like it works, it's functional, you know. It's not like terrible or anything, but it just feels kind of clunky because it's not designed with controllers in mind. Just the way like the interface works, you know, you press the bumpers to go through the different categories here, and you use like the D-pad up and down to cycle through like specific types of stuff you're trying to make. It feels really smooth and you know, like snappy. That's the best way I would describe it. The interface is just snappy and responsive, and it makes like crafting fun, you know. Some people would say the you know, part of Java Edition, at least back when the Legacy console first came out on the 360 in 2012, part of the fun in Java or in Minecraft in general was you know, like learning the crafting recipes, and I understand that argument to an extent, of course. But like, as far as, you know, playability is concerned, individually crafting one item at a time doesn't really work on a controller because of how much slower everything is. Like, you can just, you know, take your mouse and like move around the interface much quicker, which doesn't really work on a controller because this is the wrong category. You know, you're limited to the precision of the analog stick, which isn't going to be nearly as quick or precise as a mouse. So, yeah, from playability perspective, it makes more sense to do it the way they did, and I'm glad they did. Being honest, I much prefer this system, even though part of the challenge was definitely lost. But like, that's the thing, right? Well, it is technically true that originally the game was intended for you to figure out that stuff by yourself. The fact is, most of us back then were looking up that stuff on the wiki anyways. I don't think very many people were truly going in without knowing anything about the game. We all, like, let's be honest, we all watched like How to Survive Your First Night tutorials back then. I seriously doubt many of us went in blindly, because Minecraft is one of those games where I wouldn't say it's a complicated game necessarily. I mean, it has complex systems, and you can do complex things if you want. You know, you can take it to a more complicated level. But like, the thing is, right, the actual basic systems, while easy to grasp once you get them, aren't immediately obvious to someone who's never played the game before, and that's interesting. So, we have a pillager raid type thing going on. This is an example of something that was added in 1.14, which most console versions, except the PlayStation 4 version, never got. Were these little pillager raids that would come. And, you know, if I kill these guys, I get the bad omen status effect, which means if I go to a village, a raid starts. And you basically, it's like a wave system, you know, you gotta defend from that. We all know how it is, at least those of us that have played the modern game. Yeah, so this is obviously a little bit dangerous. I don't have any food at the moment, so I'm gonna get killed pretty quickly if I go over there. So I'm just gonna kind of hope they leave me alone. And I'll just keep my shield out to be safe. That's actually the other thing I want to touch on real quick. That was missing from the original Legacy Console Edition was you couldn't put any item in your offhand, right? Like with the Java Edition, obviously you can. You know, that's one of the exclusive features of the Java Edition that is still absent in Bedrock to this day. Is you can't just have items in your offhand, any item. You can only have a select few items. I believe they are... What are they? It's the Totem of Undying, shields, arrows, and I think... What else? Fireworks, I think? I think you can put fireworks in your offhand as well. But that's it. And it was like that in the Legacy Console Edition as well. The only version that supported the ability to put any item in your offhand is Java, and so that is, of course, one of the benefits of this being a Java mod pack, is you can do that, which I think is awesome. So, and I think that kind of sums up my thoughts on this mod pack in general. You kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the features of Java Edition in terms of like updates and stuff, and you know, this is a Fabric mod pack, so you have all kinds of mods there that you can play with. But you get the feel and polish of the Legacy Console Edition, which in my personal opinion is the best version of Minecraft as far as player feel goes, like in terms of how polished it was and how straightforward the systems were and how easy it was for people to pick up. It feels the best in my personal opinion. Even when compared to the original Java Edition. Oh, it's snowing. Look at that. That's what I love about the snow biomes, is getting this awesome weather. Gives it a really nostalgic feel, you know? But yeah, so it's you know, it's really cool. Like, for me, at least, this mod pack is a dream come true, personally. And I don't mean to exaggerate, but in all honesty, this was something I was waiting a very long time for. Having the ability to experience the console edition once more, just like I remember it as a kid, but with all the features of Java Edition and, you know, the modding capabilities. It's pretty awesome. It really is. Like, I haven't touched on it, but for instance, there were certain pretty severe limitations of the Legacy Console Edition, which, to Bedrock's credit, did rectify. Like, for instance, you know, limited world sizes. They did get pretty big in the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 editions when those came out. I believe it's like several thousand blocks in each direction, which is awesome, you know. But it's still not truly infinite, or realistically infinite, you know, as far as Java goes. I believe on Java it's like 30 million blocks in each direction, or whatever. And we do get that freedom with this mod pack because it's running on Java, so... Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, and there's a certain atmosphere with the console version that other ports just don't really have. Like, something about the fog rendering, especially. It's kind of hard to see from here, but if I, like, back up a little bit, you can kind of see how that's gonna get progressively more foggy. Oh, shit. Alright, let's run away from them. I kind of forgot they're over there. But yeah, as I was saying, just the fog rendering, it has this very, it gives, like, objects in the distance a sense of, like, size and scale, you know, that you don't really get with the modern fog, because it tends to cut off, like, right before the chunk rendering is visible. And yeah, you get more, you know, like, view distance out of it effectively, but I don't know, man, it really hurts the sense of scale that you get. It kind of reminds me of, like, the old Grand Theft Auto games on PlayStation 2, where it's like the fog was a limitation, of course, of the hardware, but it also gave the map a sense of scale, and it was very atmospheric, you know? If you watch, like, footage of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on PlayStation 2, the fog actually really helps give the game that atmosphere that we all remember so fondly. And I think that's applicable here too. You know, as kids, we obviously weren't analyzing the fog and that kind of stuff, and thinking, oh wow, this is so atmospheric. You know, we're just kids. We don't give a shit about that stuff. But looking back, when we think about the stuff that like was in our subconscious and what we remember fondly, that all added to the experience. It's the fog, it's the lighting, it's the, you know, the ability to go into your settings and change the gamma, which was also a console exclusive feature. You had the brightness slider, but you also had the gamma slider. You know, many of us would turn it up like that, and that very kind of washed out look is what we remember fondly. Personally, I don't like it. I think it looks kind of ugly, but it is very nostalgic because pretty much every console edition video I watched back in the day, the person playing turned their gamma all the way up. Because that was just what you did, you know? It made finding stuff in caves easier, especially if you were playing on a TV that didn't have good brightness settings. It was what you did, you know? But yeah, man, I mean, all I can really say is that it's good to be back, you know? It's good to be back playing the console edition, and I guess not even really playing the console edition, but, you know, it feels like I am. That's the thing, man. It's easy to forget that this is just a mod pack. This isn't even the actual PlayStation 4 version, but it feels like it is, you know? It's nostalgic, but it's also comforting, you know? So yeah, we're actually going to take a detour here, and instead of sleeping, I am going to stick out the night, and we'll see how that goes. I could either die a horrible death, or I'll be a hero. We'll see. Which brings me to my next point. Just as a side note, surviving your first couple of nights is kind of like a lost art in Minecraft, you know? Wow. That looks beautiful. See what I mean with the console fog rendering? Just the atmosphere it creates. And like, especially if you look off into the distance there, you know? This is just beautiful, man. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. Even for like the standards of Minecraft, that looks gorgeous. Like, genuinely fantastic. As living mice plays in the background. Anyways, so let me wait for that food to finish, and we're gonna get some action going. Okay, perfect. Alright, that should be enough food for now. Let's go ahead and have some fun. I think those pillagers despawned, so we should be good. Yeah, you know, the combat has a really good feel to it. Okay, now they're gonna fight. While they're doing their thing, I'm gonna heal up. Alright, let's use them to win. Okay. Oops. Perfect. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I've always liked the combat in Minecraft. It has a certain simplicity to it, but it can be pretty fun. Oops. Like, I'm not a fan of the way it's handled in a 1.9 onwards on the PC edition. But this is actually one of the things the Modpack addresses. As you've noticed, is there's no cooldown with the weapons. It's instantaneous, and that's just what I prefer overall. So it's nice to see that. Alright, we're gonna run back over here, because I do actually want to make some progress on my house if I can. Home safe. Barely. Let's recoup my losses here and see. I think we mostly got out unscathed. That could have been worse for sure. God, man. That just looks beautiful. I mean, really, it looks so nice. Just the way the fog, like, comes in and, like, interacts with the light. Something about the way that the console edition does it. It's hard to describe, you know? And this isn't like with shaders or anything. This is just vanilla. Whatever fog rendering the console edition has. Alright, so today we're gonna be getting some more wood, as I am indeed running out. Looks like most of my trees have grown, which is nice. So we're gonna just grab this real quick and be on with our merry way. Yeah, there's a certain level of satisfaction that comes from playing Minecraft on a controller. Just the way the camera moves and the buttons and just the experience of using the right analog stick. It satisfies a very specific portion of our brain as gamers, As much as I love keyboard and mouse, there is something kind of relaxing about just sitting back in your room and just holding a controller. Yeah, it feels it feels more casual in a way, and I think that's part of the reason why console gaming is still so popular. Is there's a certain relaxing feeling that comes from just playing on a controller compared to mouse and keyboard, and you definitely get that same experience when you're playing Minecraft on the consoles. Now that being said, I of course love the PC version. It's the one I grew up with. I started playing in 1.2.5. That was my first version of the game, and I loved it. It was a good update. We had I believe that was the update that added jungles was 1.2, as well as ocelots, and it was a good update. I love jungle biomes. They're some of my favorite biomes to this day because you can make all these awesome tree houses and stuff with them. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want to sound like a broken record or anything. There's only so much you can say about this, but yeah, just the feel of the controller, the graphics, the way that the rendering works, the smoothness, in general. That's another thing I haven't touched on. Is this mod pack is very well optimized because it's running on Fabric and it has all your favorite optimization mods installed like sodium and whatnot. And it's very lightweight. According to the mod pack developers, it can run on 512 megabytes of RAM, which is fantastic. So that means it should be mostly compatible with whatever your class of hardware is, assuming it was made within the last, I don't know, half decade or so. It should have absolutely no issues running this. So that's fantastic. I love it when modpack developers prioritize weaker hardware, because you frankly don't see that very often. I feel like hardware is kind of an afterthought for a lot of these guys. For instance, RLcraft infamously requires pretty powerful hardware to run to its full potential. I have a lot of respect for when developers work to make sure the average Joe who doesn't have a gaming PC can run this stuff. You love to see it. So thank you very much, developers, for that. So we're just going to replant these saplings so that way I've got a steady source of wood coming here. And that is an interesting bug, actually, is the snow tiles, when they fall off of the leaves, right? If they land on already existing snow tiles, instead of just disappearing, they drop as items, which is fascinating. I'm guessing that's a glitch. And I don't remember that actually being the case on the console edition, unless I'm misremembering it. That might be the case for all I know. So you end up with a bunch of these snow tiles, which are normally unobtainable in the a regular game, I believe, unless you have Silk Touch. So it's just a weird kind of glitch. I'm not sure what that's about. But yeah, please let me know if you'd like me to maybe turn this into a series of some kind. I am actually wrapping up my last couple of weeks of college, and so this would be the time to get back into making content consistently again. That is admittedly something I have been struggling with as of recently, is having the time and also the motivation to make YouTube content. So yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking with me, those who have, and those who are coming in for the first time. Welcome, and I hope you stick around, we're gonna have some fun here. I know I'm a small-time creator. I know I'm not that interesting, probably, compared to most people. But, I'm still kind of trying to figure out how to get into the flow of things, and really when it comes to YouTube and just like public speaking in general, that kind of thing, the only way you get better at it is just through practice and doing it a lot. That's really kind of the only way. And so, yeah, I'll do my best, you know? I'll do my best to entertain you guys. I would also like to get into streaming at some point, if possible. The main problem with streaming is I don't typically have, like, several hours to just do whatever I want. You know, I have obligations, I have chores. You know, I did have homework, but that's obviously dying down. With summer coming up, I'm hoping to, you know, get at least a part-time job, hopefully a full-time job if I can. And, you know, all that stuff kind of just takes time, so we'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you very much for sticking around, and I hope we share more experiences together, you know? This is still the beginning of the channel, and I think I do not mean to do that. I think we still have the potential to, you know, create more memories together. So, yeah. By the way, just a disclaimer, I am the type of guy who gets very personal with the people he interacts with, whether online or otherwise. And so, yeah, if you're down with that, then that's awesome. But if you're not, let me know, and I'll stop it. But I do like having like direct audience interaction. I feel like it's more personal and connected that way. We have like those, you know, because to me, like I think the best friends you can have are the ones that are very down to earth and honest with you. You know, they tell you when you're acting like an idiot, when, you know, you're wearing ugly clothes, when you smell, that kind of thing. And so, in a sense, I kind of want to have that kind of relationship with my audience, you know, where it's like, I want you guys to be honest with me and tell me when I'm being dumb, when you don't like what I'm doing. But conversely, tell me when you do like it, so I can improve, you know? I have a lot of plans, I have a lot of projects I'm working on. There's this retrospective video on the original Grand Theft Auto trilogy, as in the 2D games released on PlayStation 1 and PC and all that good stuff. I'm working on that. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. And yeah, man. You know, just once again, thank you for sticking around. And I hope I'm entertaining to at least some of you, you know. But yeah, as the sun sets in my Minecraft world, I believe that is also the time for us to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like down below if you did. Subscribe to have more of this content in the future. And yeah, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day, genuinely, you know. Stick around, and I'll have more stuff coming soon. Retro signing off.